welcome into BoardCheck. I am Jeremy the Impact York, joining you once again from our amazing man cave that we're still working on. Man, apparently we're getting paid by the day here. Anyway, obviously we're going to spend some time talking about the Eastern Conference matchup and the whole reason why the lack of sleep is crushing us all. And we're going to talk about the Western Conference matchup as well, and we're going to talk about some things in the NHL, maybe somewhere in between. Let's start with the East. And the games that have happened since I last spoke to you. Let's start with game number 4. That was the Pittsburgh at Ottawa, where that one ended 3-2 Pittsburgh, which tied the series at 2-2. Matt Murray started that game, and I don't know, it was just Ottawa did well scoring those 2 goals, but for some reason Pittsburgh had their number, and they were able to tap that one in and join up the series. And then last Sunday, Game 5. Ottawa was in Pittsburgh. Carlson got injured a little bit, and that kind of played into the last handful of games, honestly, because you guys obviously know it went 7 games, so it played into Game 5, 6, and 7. Pittsburgh just absolutely crushed them, 7-0. Pittsburgh now leads the series 3-2. The first goal was a blue line snipe shot that was just unbelievable. It was fantastic. Pittsburgh was more aggressive. The Ottawa power play is just ungodly. I think they were like 3 for the last 100. Literally, it's very close. Besides their power play being terrible, I'm not going to call him Sid the Kid anymore, because Sidney Crosby is not much younger than me. He's just a year or so younger than me, I believe. Somewhere in his 30s. So, I'm not calling him Sid the Kid anymore. I'm calling him Sid the Wiz, because that kid's a wizard. I just called him a kid again. Sid is a wizard. So, Sid the Wiz is what we're going to call him. A lot of other people jokingly call him that for other reasons. I'm talking because he's a wizard. That guy has grown on me a lot. He really is one of the top players in the game. I still like Ovechkin slightly over him, but it's a lot closer this year than it has been ever for me. Anderson got pulled after 1. Mike Condon came in. Mike Condon is a solid goalie. I believe Mike Condon may have actually played against the Atlanta Gladiators this season. I think I remember him playing. And if he did, it's because he was with the South Carolina. No, not South Carolina. He was... I know Mike Condon from somewhere. At some point it's going to pop in. But I still feel like he's played against the Gladiators not long ago. Pretty much. Just no pressure by Ottawa. And that's how you get a 7-0 score. Of course, like I said, that put Pittsburgh up 3-2 in the series. Game number 6. Pittsburgh was in Ottawa. Yeah, the home ice advantage seemed to take hold here. It's kind of weird how this series works. And usually whoever scored the first goal lost. So that was kind of interesting. But game 6, the first 2 goals, they each had 1 each. Just textbook. That's how you set them up. You pass here, you pass there, you go for the open shot, and you tap it in. That's pretty much how these 2 went. The go-ahead was just a beaut, just an absolute beauty of a slapper from the left side, right inside the blue line, that put, I believe, Pittsburgh up. It went, no, actually this was Ottawa, because it went over the left shoulder of Murray, and it was just, he's sitting there prone, and all of a sudden he turns, here it goes, just nothing you can do about it. Great shot. The weird thing, like I said, about the West was the team who scored first lost 4 of the first 5 games. And, obviously in Game 6, Pittsburgh wasn't able to pull out the victory. We go to Game number 7. Game number 7. Not sure what happened there. We just completely moved our camera. But let me tell you guys, I want to make sure we're on the right page. Game number 7. It was pretty even the entire game. Pretty even. Back and forth, back and forth. These were, I thought Pittsburgh had the distinct advantage. They really did. It was pretty much Crosby keeping them in it, and a few people like Kunitz and others that were just happened to to make some good plays. Uh, it did come down to some face-off wins late, which were a big key. I'll get into that in a minute. Just early, it was a lot of fast scatter plays early, a lot of big chances, a lot of big plays, a lot of big breaks. Just fantastic goaltending. That by far, this is some of the best goaltending outside of Pekka Rinne we've seen in the playoffs. These were just two tough, tired teams who just did not want to quit. You could tell it was just like a fighter on his last leg, but at the same time, they were still strong enough to keep battling with each other. There were just long stretches of play, though, without stops, which is great because that means there's really good play. There's really solid. No stoppages of play. Nobody was shooting the puck out. Nobody was freezing. The goalie wasn't freezing the puck, nothing like that. There was a lot of chances back and forth. I mean, you go 12, 13 minutes sometimes without a stoppage of play, which puts a lot of stress on the players, but fantastic action for us. There was a lot of chances, but no goals up into I put no goals yet as far as my notes, and that was 14 minutes left in the second. There was a sneaky good pass and a goal by Pittsburgh in the second right after that. Answered 20 seconds later by a just fantastic sniper shot. It was a top shelf sniper shot. 20 seconds later, literally, it was like 19 and a half seconds, and it was just like boom, boom. And you're like, what just happened? Luckily, I was DVRing the game, so I went back and watched. It was just two incredible shots and two incredible. I mean, it was textbook. These are, if you got a young kid or even a kid in any level that's not up to the amateur or professional level yet, you want to watch games like this, and you want to watch, by far the Stanley Cup. Any game this playoffs, but Stanley Cup by far. Let's see, where are we? The Ottawa power play was still awful, but they were able to make things work. Not necessarily on the power play, but they were able to get the chances they needed. There was a lot of sticks on the ice. It was really weird. A lot of them were getting knocked out and non-calls. A lot of them were getting broken. So at times there were 4 or 5 sticks just laying around that things were bouncing off of. So, I kind of wish sometimes the referees or somebody kicked those out of the way, but it would stop them from doing what they're supposed to do. Anyway, Pittsburgh had the sniper shot goal, number 2, with about 8 minutes in the third left. Then there was a fantastic tap in by Ottawa with about 5 minutes left in the third. That sent us to overtime. And what happened in the first overtime? A lot. But the one thing that didn't happen was a goal scored, because I said the first overtime. This went to 2 overtimes. In the second overtime, we had Kunitz for the Pittsburgh Penguins, who just had this fantastic rifle shot in the second overtime. And I think, right from the top, and just fantastic. So, your Eastern Conference winner, the Pittsburgh Penguins, will move on to face the Western Conference representative, which we will talk about when we come back from the break right here on BoardCheck. We'll see you in a few. We're back here on BoardCheck. Jeremy, the Impact York. Welcome back. Let's talk about the Western Conference. The Western Conference was the Anaheim Ducks and the Nashville Predators. By now, everybody knows who moved on, but I'm still going to talk about the games. Let's go to Game 5, where Nashville was in Anaheim. Nashville was very aggressive late, and they prevented a lot of Ducks' chances. They were able to win the game 3-1. At that point, they led the series 3-2. Just incredible goalies. Josh Gibson was fantastic for the Ducks. He wasn't quite as good as Pekka Rinne, who by far could be, he should be goalie of the year the way he's playing. This is what happens in the playoffs. It's a solid team with fantastic goaltending usually makes a strong run like this. Gibson actually got injured at one point, and Bernier came in, and he did pretty good too. It's not that he did bad. It was good to know that Gibson wasn't a total loss, but the Predators just outworked the Ducks in the small areas, in the dirty areas, as they say, in the clean areas. Just they outworked them. They won faceoffs. They controlled the puck. They were able to stand in, to skate through the pass lane so that the Ducks couldn't get off clean passes, and it frustrated them enough to where they were able to beat them. So 3-2 going into game number 6. I think you guys know what happens in game number 6. Of course, Anaheim was in Nashville, in Smashville, where I told you guys. Even before this great run, we were already thinking about doing some things in Smashville next year. So mark it down. Impact Media and BoardCheck and this guy will be coming sometime next season to Smashville. We will probably do some fun recordings and maybe do a couple live shows or do some stuff up there. Either way, we're coming to Smashville this year, and we're looking forward to it. But this game was in Smashville. It was pretty even early. Game number 6 was. Then the Predators got 2 quick goals. There was a goal by Anaheim in about the 10-minute mark of the second period that was pretty nice. Showed that they hadn't completely given up, which they hadn't. They played hard the whole time. Then Nashville was just blocking shots. They were helping Pika out a lot. Pika still made all the saves he needed to and then some, but they were blocking so many shots that the Ducks couldn't get off a clean shot. Nashville ultimately won that game, as I said, I think 2-1. They won the series 4-2 overall. No, it's 6-3, rather. I forgot about. Oh, they had the 2 empty netters at the end, which were just fantastic because it kept, it goes 2-0, 2-1, 3-2, or no, 3-1, 3-2, then 4-2, 4-3, 5-3, 6-3. It was fantastic. And that's going to set up your Stanley Cup matchup, which we will talk about along with a couple NHL things in the third period. But the Nashville Predators are your Western Conference representatives for the first time ever. So congratulations to those 2 teams. You got Pittsburgh and Nashville. What do I think about that matchup? At least at this point, it could change game by game. But as of this point, you'll find out in the third period when we come back right here on BoardCheck. It's third period time right here on BoardCheck, and I'm pretty sure we're not going to have overtime because we're going to dominate like the Predators. We are. Of course, like I said before, in the first and second periods, that your representatives are Nashville and Pittsburgh. That will set up a overall fantastic matchup. I'm going to see if I can pull up something real quick that for some reason is not in front of me. Here we go. Schedule for the Stanley Cup, because it's going to be fun. The schedule. All right. Here we go. Are they going to do us any favors? All right. Kind of. All right. Game number 1. It's going to be in Pittsburgh, where the Predators will face the Penguins. That is a 8 p.m. start. It will be on NBC. On Wednesday is game number 2. That is also in Pittsburgh on NBCSN. It's on a bunch of other places as well. You can go to NHL.com for more on this. Game 3. Is it on Thursday? No. Is it on Friday? No, it's on Saturday. Okay. But that will be in Nashville, in Smashville, as the Penguins come to visit there on NBCSN as a 8 p.m. start. Looks like they're all going to be 8 p.m. starts. Game number 4 is also in Nashville, 8 p.m. start. That's on NBC next Monday, not this Monday. Next Thursday, if necessary, in Pittsburgh at 8 p.m. on NBC. Game number 6 will be a week from this Sunday, or Sunday, June 11th at 8 p.m. And if possible, or if necessary, Game 7 will be in Pittsburgh at 8 p.m. Start on that one. That's it's pretty spaced out there, but what can you say, right? All right, how I see this playing out. I think you guys will probably figure out who I'm probably picking. I'll just say Sidney Crosby, Sid the Wiz, has grown on me all year. Like I've said, I used to think he was a big whiner, which he was. I used to think he wasn't quite as good as Ovechkin. I still quite think that. But at the same time, Sid holds his team together. even when he's not there, even when he's injured. Malkin does a pretty good job picking up the slack. Matt Murray is a fantastic goaltender. He is going to be the reason why Marc-Andre Fleury will probably be a Golden Knight. That's my guess. He'll probably be a Golden Knight next year. Fantastic pick for Las Vegas. Maybe we'll talk to them about it here soon. But as far as Pittsburgh's concerned, they always have the firepower. They have the veteran presence. They have all the tools necessary. They are what the Capitals wanted to be, and that's the front runner to win this thing. On the Nashville side, they've got momentum. They've got the fact this is the first time they've been there. That can actually play into your hand pretty well. It can, deteriorate as well, but, I think this is going to be a plus for them. Nashville has the best goalie in the playoffs, and that's not just left. That's the best goalie overall, probably the best goalie in the league, in Pekka Rinne. It's crazy that you can lose your top two centers, including Mike Fisher, and you still make it this far. They've lost Fiala. They've lost all these other guys, and yet they continue to win. So they're just scrappy. They're going to out-finesse you as much as possible, and they seem to play so hard. So what do I think is going to happen? I think I got to go Nashville in 6. It is a way out there thing, but, I was going to call Nashville sweeping the Blackhawks and decided not to, and I should have. So this time, Nashville in 6. I've got the Predators in 6, which will be interesting because Game 6 will be in Nashville, so that could be pretty interesting. Maybe I'll give a shout out to my good buddy Connor, who's up in Nashville, and see if he's going to go to the game or just see how everything's going up that way. But, that's going to be a lot of fun. Now, a few things I wanted to hit NHL-wise real quick. Traditions, it used to be you only needed to win 8 games to win the Stanley Cup. So that's how in Detroit they started throwing an octopus on the ice. It was supposed to be good luck. Octopus has 8 legs. You need 8 wins. Fair enough, right? There was all the people in Florida for the Florida Panthers games. They used to throw the rubber mice, which was a little interesting, rubber rats there, towards the goalie after certain goals and stuff like that. And then there's a new one, thanks to one of my favorite players in the NHL. In the NFL, actually. And he's also a Tennessee Titan offensive lineman, Taylor Lewan, who somehow got a catfish into the arena and somehow threw it on the ice. I've yet to hear exactly how that worked, but shout out to Taylor Lewan, who will be our BoardCheck shout out for the night. Shout out to him. That was kind of cool to see a catfish thrown on the ice like that, and that thing was massive. We're talking like Subway party sub, kind of deal. But as far as traditions, I think this is a great tradition. It's something interesting. It's something that ties in Tennessee and Nashville. It doesn't come off bad, so I look forward to seeing some of these traditions and a lot more of these really pick up. The NHL has been doing this thing, and I don't know if they're doing it as a time or a clickbait or whatever it is. They're trying to do the top team of all time debate. My response is, why? Enjoy each team for what they are or what they were. Why do we need to find the best of all time? This is the same debate I make in basketball about Michael and LeBron. It's the same one that you make in baseball about comparing Babe Ruth to Hank Aaron to Ken Griffey Jr. Why not? Why do we have to pick a best of all? Because why can't we just enjoy them for what they are here now? The top NHL team of all time, I don't care. I'm gonna point blank say it. It does not matter to me who the top team of all time in the NHL is. What does matter is that these fantastic teams keep getting better. Even the lower team, there's so much talent in this league that, they really hadn't had a bad draft since like 99, 98, something like that. This has been a fantastic run right here for the NHL. So how about we just enjoy each team for what they are and not worry about who's the best. If you want to, the best of all time, if you want to know who's the best, see who won the cup, because that's usually the better team every year as far as that. If you want to go best of all time, enjoy them for what they are. And then lastly, a lot of people, I'm not going to say anything bad about the Senators. There were parts of me that wanted the Senators to win because it would have been a fun matchup with them in Nashville. But overall, I was kind of pulling for the Penguins a little bit because Sidney Crosby plays for them. Shouldn't we want the best player in the league or one of the best players in the league in the best game, in the best series in the Stanley Cup? I mean, it seems like, think about any other sport. Don't we want LeBron and Steph Curry in the NBA Finals? Don't we? I mean, people have been wanting Bryce Harper and Mike Trout in the World Series for a while, but good luck. I don't know that either of them. The Angels definitely aren't going. Think about other sports. Think about the NFL. Don't we kind of want to see the Peyton Mannings, the Tom Bradys, the Drew Breeses, the really good players? Don't we want to see them win and go to the bigger games? Yeah, we do. Nothing personal to smaller teams, but we're not as concerned if the smaller team makes it. It's nice if they do, but we want the best, the best, most popular players on the biggest stage. So, it's pretty easy to me that I had to pull for the Penguins because having Sidney Crosby in another final, in a back-to-back final at that. When's the last time somebody went back-to-back? Anybody know? My guess is it was probably Detroit in the 90s. It was a while. I think even Chicago had a few years in between theirs. But, in my opinion, we should want the best player. If your team's out, I understand if if your rival's still in, I understand not going there, but we should want the best players in the Stanley Cup final. And I think we got a good mix of them this time around. The Penguins are chock full of them. Nashville has a lot of emerging guys, plus a lot of established guys. Pekka Rinne by far is the front runner there. This is going to be fantastic. And I hope you guys enjoy it as much as I have. The lack of sleep means nothing because we can sleep when it's over. So, don't use that as an excuse. If you don't get a chance to watch it live, DVR it, watch it. These games, every one of them have been unbelievable. But that's going to do it for me this week. A little bit longer show than usual, but we had a lot we wanted to talk about. We will be back next Wednesday for the next installment of BoardCheck. By then, we will have one game we can talk about. And the second one will be going on by that time, but we'll have plenty of other things to talk about as well, maybe a special guest. We'll see you next week. I'm Jeremy the Impact York. Go watch hockey.
Let's get ready to rumble! Feel the fires into the red. It's nice and only know